Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And we are live
Yes,
right
we are.
after so many technical difficulties. Again,
Hiccups.
hiccups. So we are here, and sorry about the delay to get on camera here. But if you're out there, please give us a heads up. Let us know that you're out there. Say something like say hello. Let us know that you're here. Let me see if I can bring you a little bit closer to us,
No, sir.
which
Ooh.
might be a little bit of
More,
issue.
more intimate. Oh, it's too close.
Intimacy.
That's a little too close.
So let us know that you're here. Wow, why does it seem like there we
There you
go.
go.
There
There
you
you
go.
go. It's centered.
Much better.
Boom.
Center.
Synergy.
So if you're out there, kind of give us a heads up. Say hello.
Hola.
Introduce yourself. We
Hola.
are Jimmy and Rosemary,
Yes.
and we are here live
Yes.
from Puerto Vallarta,
Yes.
Mexico.
Yes. And
So
I'm Rosemary, by the way, just in case you didn't know.
I did say Jimmy
Said
and
Jimmy
Rose.
and Rosemary. But they might not know which one is which.
There you go. Just in case you didn't know, now you know. Let us know if you can hear us and everything
Yeah,
else,
tell us.
and
Let me check my phone to see.
we're
See.
going to keep working on this
Yeah.
as as you know. It's funny because today's chat is basically about technical difficulties, but mainly on the emphasis on customer service out here in Mexico,
Oh,
because we've had a few weeks that have been challenging as far as certain issues
yeah.
involving our home out here, our services,
Yeah.
and we kind of wanted to talk about that and share some of our experience. And just to let you know, everything that we share is based on it's not it's not to generalize all of Mexico,
Oh no.
but it is to talk specifically about here in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and our experience with what we're dealing with living out here.
Right.
So let them know when did we move out here. Just then for those who
So
don't
we
know.
we moved to Mexico in December, but we moved to Puerto Vallarta in January this year, 2023.
Yeah, let us know if you can hear us too. Just
Yes.
make sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we came out here at the beginning of the year, and so we are on month 8,
Yes.
starting
Wow.
in a few days, right?
Yeah, it's went by so fast. It's
Yeah,
crazy. Cause like, wow, that's crazy.
it
Yeah.
goes by so fast. I mean, really,
Yeah.
it seriously goes by fast, you know. And in this transition, there's so much that when you're wanting to say become an expat, and we hope that those who are watching are really interested in maybe you're living in the U.S.,
Yeah.
or another country, and you're thinking about Mexico.
Mm.
And we did our research for years,
Yes.
and I can tell you this: it's so much better to be here than to keep doing the research. Just to be honest.
Yes. Yes. It's so much better to be here. It's just amazing to be here. It's comfortable. It's not like what people say it's like, especially those who are throwing like scare tactics to keep you in your country. So it's like Mexico is nothing like that. It's like being at home. Actually, I'm more comfortable. I've said this before. I'm more comfortable being here than in Las Vegas. That's telling you something, right? Because
Yeah.
I miss family, of course, and all that, but being here, I feel like I'm at home. To be honest with you, so see that
So
guy agreed. He laughed back there.
so being with that, dealing with that, we do have the things that happen. But it's not all gum,
Roses and sunshine.
cotton candy and popcorn and all that other stuff.
I do miss popcorn.
There are things that definitely we've had to experience, especially in the past couple of weeks,
Yeah.
say from the mid or beginning of the month, that have been challenging, where we've had to deal with just kind of get an experience um, from the customer service side of what it's like to deal with, say, customer service here in Mexico,
Mm,
and particularly our part of Mexico, Puerto Vallarta.
right.
Now, it could be different if you say like live in Mexico City, or maybe Leon, or somewhere else like Querétaro,
Yeah.
where you might have a different experience. Merida, I don't
Yeah.
know. I can just tell you here where we've been, because we live on the coast, which
Yeah.
is like the west coast of
Mhm.
Mexico,
Mhm.
and we have hurricane season, which we're kind of going through the rainy season now, and that has caused some issues, and therefore we've had technical issues with our water and with our internet, and so it has put us in a situation where we've had to deal with customer service being here.
Fun.
And to let you know,
Fun. Wow.
customer service, we've had some challenges with customer
Yeah.
service issues, and I can say, though, it may not necessarily be any different than the US because we've had our issues there as
Right?
well.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It's just different when you um, don't, I guess, fully know understand the language because we're still learning, and so we can't just jump on a call and say, "Hey, I'm having this problem." Blah blah blah. You got to do Google Translate. You got to go back and forth. You got to do WhatsApp, etc. So it's doable, but it's just a couple little hiccups in between.
Oh, and there's been some hiccups, just to say the least.
Yeah.
So, we're just basically telling you how it is
Yes.
and
Our experience.
our experience.
Yes.
And we're not going to say that, hey, I mean, we still, in spite of our challenges,
Yeah.
we still love Mexico.
Oh yeah. I'm
And
staying. So.
yeah, this just that July happened, which is like the beginning of the rainy season that we hit, because this is when everything really hit hard.
Right.
We started the beginning of the month, like January 7th through January 10th. We dealt with our main water, the main water line to our building being out.
Right.
So we spent
Yeah.
3 nights, 4 days without water.
Yeah.
To the house, and
Yeah.
that was very, very tough.
Mhm.
Now, our experience with customer service in that situation is we didn't have any, because our water is actually paid for through our landlord.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, she covers that portion of the rental agreement. So it's like she said that she looked into it. She said she couldn't do anything, that it wasn't her fault because she made sure the bills paid and everything. So that was more of a city thing, right? Or
Yeah.
I don't really know if we really resolved what the problem was, but they said that because of the weather, because of the storms, that happens out here. Now they also do scheduled cutoffs too. So in certain areas of this city or in Mexico, I guess they do literally. I'm gonna turn off your water, and it's gonna be off for a whole 24 hours because
In
people
some places
complain
were
about
longer
that.
than us,
Yeah.
because we did hear news reports of scheduled water outages or shutoffs.
Yes.
And actually, the house sit that we are doing up in the Jardines Ramblasas area, that house actually went through one of those
The
scheduled shutoffs for a
Right.
few days,
Mhm.
and that was like at the end of June.
Right.
So because of the drought season, that the extreme heat and drought that we had before the month of July, before the rains really started really good, they had scheduled shutoffs.
Yes.
And we just happened to be a victim of one of those shutoffs, and ours lasted 4 days,
Yes.
and it was pretty tough.
Yes.
It was extremely challenging, but we got through it.
Yes.
We didn't bail and go live in a hotel for a while.
No.
We actually didn't even stay in the house sit that we have, that we could have stayed at, because it's a way bigger house than our unit here.
Oh yeah, hands down. We could have just went over there and chilled out, but we worked it out. You can get very creative when you're out of resources. Your mind can get very creative. So I said that's why I think that it's a good experience to experience the hardship sometimes, because I know from experience that even me personally, it's not on the water note, but even me personally, when I was younger, dealing with like food or not having enough, I got very creative in creating different types of food for my family can eat because I didn't have enough resources at the time with that husband at the time. So you do get creative during hardship. So I'm just saying, I'm not mad at it,
But
it was a bit of a challenge, especially learning how to shower and get
we learned it. So then, just some other trial that came up,
yeah,
and where we had to actually really deal with customer service, is something that we actually are still dealing with right now,
yeah.
and that's our internet service. And that's
Mm.
our internet service. Surprisingly, you're thinking, well, we can tell you, our internet is actually down.
Yes.
Our main internet service, which is through Telmex.
Yeah.
and it's been basically out since July 18th.
Yeah.
So
So what is today? 30th. Tomorrow's the 31st because I ain't coming on today. So
no,
it's like
so
2 weeks.
that's like 2 weeks. We've been
That's crazy.
12 days without our main internet,
Right.
and the Telmex service was down, and it might be related to the fact that because of the hurricane season and the storms that were coming in, and the fiber has been damaged in the Zona Romantica area, I guess, in
Mm-hmm.
other parts of Puerto Vallarta. So their techs have been just overrun with trouble tickets.
Yeah.
And I can tell you this, it has been very, 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 very frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
I have gone to directly to Telmex office. Like I've been there 4 times. I've gone and talked through the chat on my app like 8 to 10 times of different things, but you
Yeah.
never know who you're talking to on those bots.
Right.
All I'm doing is basically getting the information. I have to scan it with my other phone and check out and read what option to pick in Spanish to
Mm-hmm.
convert it to English, and I just start replying and going through, and it's been tough. I can
Yeah.
say that it's been extremely tough,
It's a
and
challenge.
I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
um
It's hard because waiting. First of all, we waited for the. There was an automatic. I guess it's an automatic message that comes up saying, "Oh, we'll see you in 3 days. We'll be out in 3 days."
oh yeah, right.
Remember that? I remember
I
that
forgot
well
about
because I
that.
was like, "Oh yeah, they'll be here on Friday. Cool, right?" And so no, that's just an automatic. We found out from one of our friends. So we still waited. Jimmy went to go talk with them. Still
And
didn't send anyone out.
when I went to the Telmex at the Caracol Plaza to
Mm-hmm.
talk to them, where they basically you can go inside, sign up for services, get your modem, pay your bills,
Mm-hmm.
talk to them. Well, I guess they treated it like a different department. So they were saying, and then I have to, just to let you know, when you go in there, and if you don't speak Spanish, you'll basically there might be 1 or 2 people there that might speak English
Right.
to help you. So I was able to get a particular agent to help me that way. But going that route, they couldn't do anything because it was based on the supervisor over the field techs, and the field techs are the people, um, is the ones that actually go and do installs and repairs on site in your
Right.
home or at businesses.
Right.
So all they could do was talk to them and find out. And then all I got was the message that, well, they have your trouble ticket. They can't do anything now. And, you know, they're overrun because it
Right.
takes a specialized tech to work with the
Right.
fiber
And because of the storm.
and the storm.
Yeah.
So what happened was this: we ended up getting information through a friend of mine, Cedric, with Aging Grateful, and he was talking about Stefan's web. Um, I'm trying to remember their YouTube channel. If you're on here, Cedric, please text, put it in the comment. But
Yeah.
he was telling me about another YouTuber that lives here in Puerto Vallarta that had just done a video not that long ago about what they went through when their internet went out, or that they just ended up getting 2 internet services.
Mm-hmm.
So I never thought about it. And
Yeah.
so we said, okay, cool. We're going to go ahead and try to get another internet service so that we have a backup anyways, because if you guys
Yeah.
live out here, or if you're going to be an expat in Mexico, and some of you are going to be digital nomads where you're going to be working online,
Mm-hmm.
you might want to consider this: having a dual internet
Yeah.
provider solution.
Yeah.
That way, especially now in the season that we're in our rainy season, and when it rains in Puerto Vallarta.
Yes.
We've come from Las Vegas. We are not used to rain.
No.
Not
Yeah.
like this.
Here's the drought, but not rain.
Oh no. And this rain is quick,
we
hard.
pray for rain out there. Please rain.
This rain is stronger than those
Oh,
monsoons
man.
that would hit
Yes.
Arizona back in the 90s, or the early 2000s. These rains are rains. They
Yeah,
are
it comes down hard.
like they are heavy.
Yeah.
So we happen to be at Sam's Club near the marina, and when we were coming out, there was one of those the Total Play internet service provider had a booth out right when you're about to leave the Sam's Club.
Yeah.
So we said, hey, there's our opportunity. Let's
Yeah.
talk to this guy and go ahead and get internet service set up.
Sure.
Unfortunate thing
Easy
is,
peasy.
it was not easy peasy. A, he didn't speak English. So we were doing everything back and forth through the translator while we had our stuff with us, and we needed to get back home.
And that part was a given, for
Yeah,
the most part.
yeah.
That part wasn't the hard part.
But the hardest part was the fact that in most warehouses like Costco and Costco and Sam's Club, you're not going to have strong internet service. It's like, or cell service. They just like block it off. And sure enough, that's what was going on. So here we are trying to make a sales order to get an install for new internet service in a location that's blocking every cell signal in its range.
Yep.
And so somehow we got through the process, but we didn't get an install date. And he says,
Yeah.
okay, well, don't worry, you'll get I'll call you back, or I'll WhatsApp you with your number.
Right.
And your date. Well, that was, say, on the 19th when we went over there. So, or I'm sorry, it was the 19th that we went over to Sam's Club.
Yeah.
But the problem was the next day when he he sent me the text with my account number or my invoice number. He gave me an 800 number. I went to call it, and it didn't. I could not get any help. The worst thing was, again, going back and forth with the Spanish, but they did actually have on Total Play, they have an English prompt option.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to somehow work through it until you hear the word Inglés and the numeral in Spanish.
Yeah.
And God help you to be good with that, because that language is coming through fast and you got to catch it. But I found it in the prompts.
That's funny.
And so once I started talking to the reps on the phone to get the install, the problem was they could see our account set up, but they couldn't schedule our install because the account belonged to a third-party vendor that set it up for Total Play.
Right.
And that's what happened.
And that's Sam's, right?
That
The
was
third party vendor is Sam's Club, so it's kind of,
it's not necessarily Sam's Club.
well,
but
the guy there.
The guy is at Sam's Club. So
Yeah.
whether it be at Costco, at Sam's Club,
Yeah.
if you don't go into the actual service provider, cable internet service provider's location and actually talk to a rep that works for them directly,
Mm-hmm.
not a third party selling that service, then you are out of luck, because when it comes to getting customer service from the service provider, they can't help you until after you're installed.
Right.
So we went through this for like 4 days.
Yes.
And so remember, our internet's been out since the 18th.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I went back and forth with the rep from Sam's Club on WhatsApp, and he started ignoring me there.
I'm sure he did.
I went back and forth trying to get different reps on Total Play phone line to set that up.
Yeah.
And then I encountered this other issue, which was the fact that for some reason, I don't know what it is about Mexico, but when you set up an internet or cable service here, they will input a phone number for the account that does not belong to you.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Like if you don't have a Mexican phone number, maybe, but this happened with Telmex, and this has happened with Total Play. It turned out I could not even go through the app to set up my account so I could try to talk to them online, because it didn't recognize the phone number I gave the sales rep. It had a totally different number.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't set up the account online, which means I couldn't set up the install. And the only other option was to basically go back to Sam's Club.
Yes. So we did that. We went back to Sam's Club, and no one was there.
It was a Sunday.
The booth was gone. The guy wasn't there.
The booth was there.
So he somehow escaped. He knew Jimmy was coming back. He knew. He knew. So
But yeah, they were
anyway,
closed.
yeah, they were closed. So that's okay. Then we have him coming back, and
Well, what happened was it was closed, but
yeah.
on the way out of Sam's Club, we were able to talk to the lady
Oh yeah, you did.
who basically checks the receipts, and she was really helpful. She didn't speak English well. Excuse us, we're live. Hey, what do you expect? And we're in Mexico. Everything's loud. That was just a bicycle. No, I'm playing. But
Sure.
so what she was able to do, she actually had on her cell phone the phone number for like the supervisor for the total play for that booth.
Yeah.
So I got on and found her through WhatsApp and texted her through WhatsApp, explaining that I didn't have an install, and it's been like 4 days now, or 2 days after that, 3 days, and we have no date. And every time I tried to get help through the service provider, they weren't there. They won't help me because I made the order through them.
Right.
So she got through to the sales rep we talked to, and immediately he was back. He jumped on there right away.
Somehow he recognized you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was doing the avoidance tactic.
He was doing the avoidance, and he recognized us finally right away.
Yeah.
So now here it comes. It's like, actually, that was on Friday. I went over there. We both went over there on Friday the 21st. But on the 22nd, all of a sudden, at the last second of the last second, we got a call, or I got a text on the WhatsApp from our sales rep saying somebody's going to be at your house today.
Yeah, randomly. It's like that's how it happens. So they'll just show up, and you're like, wait, if I wasn't here, then what would have happened? So you wouldn't have had any service. So good thing that we were. I think we were here, right?
No, we were at the we were at the house at.
Oh,
we
yeah,
were across
that's right.
town.
We had to hurry and get back here.
So we were up near closer to the jungle.
Forgot about that.
And we had to come down to the beach to get to here. Yeah. And and that's the thing about customer service here.
Yeah.
You'll get, like, if you ever get a service call, they won't tell you. Sometimes when you set it up, you won't even know that you're scheduled. They just won't tell you.
Yeah, there's no sending you out a text or email saying you're whatever, the guy will be here, your tech will be here Wednesday the 3rd, blah blah blah. Nah, they'll be here when they be here. Okay, so you gotta be around. It's the luck of the draw. That's what it seems to be the case, because I hear this from other people as well, having that issue. And it's like, okay, well, you better be awfully close to the house for at least a week or so.
Right.
and it's just kind of crazy.
It's crazy because this is 5 days from our internet being down.
The original
at this time.
Yeah, the first.
So internet. I'm still going through the app and online on Telmex. Yeah. To try to get somebody to find out when they're coming to help us. Yeah. And I'm getting no response. They're saying, oh, we'll get to you. It'll be about 2 or 3 more days. Yep. Then at the same time, I'm going through Total Play to get new service installed. And they're saying, I can't help you. So finally, this guy tells me, all right, they're going to be out there. So this was Saturday the 22nd. And this is the day that they were going to meet us here at 3:30. So they did arrive at 3:30. Yeah, these 2 young guys showed up at 3:30. And they worked hard because guess what? They were here till 10:30 that night.
So from 3:30 to 10:30, let's do the math.
They were here 7 hours.
We're like, what? Okay, hour went by because they said it'll be an hour. Then when he was down the way, he said, okay, it'll be another hour. We'll wrap it all up. No. They were still here. Then it started pouring down, raining and lightning outside. They were trying to climb up here and using our step ladder and trying to make it work. And oh my gosh! So I'm sitting here like going, "All right, guys, here's some water." Then Jimmy was like, "Oh, let's give them some food." Then we gave them some food and we fed them, gave them some snacks, and they were like, "That's how long they were here." But I felt bad, like y'all been here this long. I know y'all hungry.
So they spent several hours, like outside, because their line to run. They had to run the fiber literally that moment from a block away, and they use little ladders. They don't have trucks that have the hoist.
They don't have.
So they don't have
what is it called? The boom.
The lifts on them to lift them up, or the boom to lift it up to the poles. No. They're literally going with a ladder and these guys came out not in a truck. They were in a small Toyota or something, and
Yeah.
they had the ladder strapped to the top, roof of the car.
With rope.
Right. And so they
I
were
was like, hey,
literally
you do what
going
you gotta
up
do,
the
homie.
block, along the
Yes.
walls, on the side of buildings, and hoisting. He would throw
Wires
up
though,
the
yeah.
fiber. He's
Oh
throwing the
yeah.
fiber up in the air to get it up onto some hook or something, and then they can go a little bit further down the street, and they're taking the
Crazy.
ladder and doing that.
Yeah, that was
So they
crazy.
get here across the way. Meanwhile, while they're here, there are two Telmex trucks right in front of our place, right
Right.
down below us.
Oh.
There's one, and the guy is literally on the pole right below our window here.
Yeah.
So
Like I can shake his hand. He was right
he
there.
couldn't help me. I talked to both of them. The first guy, he's like, because there's two trucks, they're doing two different jobs, and this is while the fiber guys from Total Play are going to come are here. The one guy says, "Oh, I only do installs. You need to talk to the other guy." The other guy, who is doing a repair across the street, he's like, "I can't help you. This is the last job I have. I don't have your trouble ticket number, and that's it. I can't do any work without the ticket number on my route." And I was like, "Oh, this is great." At first, I was all excited, thinking we'd get all of it together.
Yeah.
But the whole plan was to get the new service done within a day, because we didn't want to get both services up at the same time.
Yeah.
Which didn't turn out to happen anyway.
Yeah, you mean our new service done within an hour?
Yeah, well, I wanted the new service done the day
Same.
after we
Yeah.
went down over here.
Yeah,
That's the whole
yeah.
purpose of having two
Right.
services. You want to have one up while one's down, if that happens.
I was thinking about something that's funny too, because when they were putting the lines up, and then the guy was over here, the young dude, the one guy was on the porch over here, and he was throwing him the line over this way to our patio or to our porch up here until he couldn't get it, and he asked to borrow my broom to catch it. I was like, what? He said, "You got the broom?" I was like, "Sure." I thought he had to sweep something up. He used the broom to catch the wire. I was like, what? It's just fun. It's just, I think it's funny to me personally, not to diss on Mexico, because I love Mexico. I love you guys. If you're watching Telmex, I love you. Get over here today and fix the internet. And also, also the others, Total Play. Love you guys. You guys are awesome. You know, the people are great and everything. But, and not to diss Mexico. So I don't want you guys to think that we're coming on to diss Mexico or talk junk about the services. It's just our experiences we're sharing with you, which to me is quite, it wasn't comical at the time. At the same time, but we kind of kept a good attitude about it, because I mean, what are you going to do? You know what I'm trying to say?
I mean, we were feeding the guys and everything else.
Yeah, I'm
we
like, dude, you want me to get some other stuff together for y'all? Because I don't know.
Oh, they got loaded.
Oh, yeah.
While they were here, they were here 7 hours. Now, you don't
happily.
expect them to be here 7 hours, but they were here till light.
I was like, you might as well spend the night.
They were here through the rain. It flooded. It was pouring down.
Yeah.
The trash on the street started flowing down.
Right. It was,
and going. It kept getting swept. And they were in here when it was pouring hard, and the lightning is all over the place.
Oh, don't forget the lights went out.
Oh, well, no, we were going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
You know, because the whole point was, so for some reason, once they got the modem set up, the signal wasn't going through, and it could have been because the storm kept blocking everything from happening.
Right.
But these two were determined not to leave.
Oh, no, they weren't. That's what I love about them.
That was,
they were like,
awesome.
Oh, you're going to get your service before we leave. Because they could have been like, oh, well, it's not working. Sorry, bye-bye. No, they were like,
yeah, after 3-4 hours.
He was on the phone several with supervisor constantly. He was like trying to make it work. So that I commend them, because they're willing to get the job done and will not leave till they are done.
No, I think this is the other thing about customer service over the phone, because he was talking to his own customer service, and I think he went through like 2 or 3 different customer service reps.
Yep, I heard him.
I mean, because he kept getting on the phone, speaking for a while, sitting on hold for a long time, hanging up. Yeah. Then he would try to do some stuff again, get back on the phone, go through the same routine, be on hold for a very long time. And so it was just like this. It was just a circus that night.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And
man,
and we were just like, okay, are we even going to get the service turned on?
Right. I just kept praying that the service would be turned on. I don't care how long y'all take. Although it's kind of weird, because you have not customer service, but tech guys in your house that long. It's kind of like day. it's a weird feeling, you know. And I'm just like expecting that it was going to just be done and that's it. But yeah, it was a long.
It was a long day.
10:30 hit, and I was like, dude, either y'all spending the night and I'm about to lock up. I'm like, because I said that to the one guy. I was like, you might as well just stay at night. And he started laughing because I'm like, it was a rough day.
It was a very rough.
Yeah.
And so here it comes, 10:30. He, it's like 10:20ish. He finally gets somebody that can help him.
Yeah.
And the light that was waiting to come on, it was like red or something, but when it was ready to come on, the fiber light for signal actually finally came on. Everything's blinking. And then it was like within 2 minutes, all of a sudden, because he's like, I'm trying to test the speeds and make sure I get the speeds that I paid for. Oh, and then, before I get there, it turned out we had to, the order that was put in when the tech that came out, because I paid 6 months in advance to get a special to get double the speed for half the price or less to the lower tier.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out the order from the sales rep from Sam's Club was not put in correctly. So that's what also took long in our 7-hour ordeal, because that sales order that I had from Sam's Club had to get canceled. All of my information that I gave him at that day, I had to start all over when this other guy, the supervisor from our field techs, called me. And I had to go through and sign up for the service all over again over the phone.
It's making me tired just thinking about it right now.
So that's why it took 7 hours, because it was the fact that they couldn't do anything because the order was wrong. The supervisor had to figure it out. They had to work it out on his end to cancel it, and then call me back to set it up, get my card information, my CURP number, and everything else all over again, and sign up. And then they could start to do the install. And then they had technical difficulties getting the service running.
Yep.
But once it got running, within 2 minutes, all of a sudden the power dropped.
Yeah. Wow. We're like, oh, we got the internet going. Yeah.
And then
we're like,
and we're all four of us are in here.
We're like, I was like, oh no, you didn't. You coming back on lights. That was crazy. Like literally. Hey,
no, and it's funny because we had already got the candles ready. We got the flashlight ready.
Yeah, I always
because
do that.
It was storming so hard. We knew.
Storm, we definitely.
There's a possibility. And you know what? With that came the whole thing of what we ended up doing afterwards.
Yeah. Which
was after we finally got them out that day, we actually went out to Costco
the next day,
and got like a backup battery. Because that's something that you need to know, that when you're here in Mexico, there's a possibility of power outages where you live.
Yes.
So it's important that if especially you are a digital nomad or you work from home and you're working and the internet is necessary, you definitely want to have a backup, a surge protector with the battery backup system.
Yes, for sure.
So we bought a trip light. From Costco, so that we would get like say 45 minutes of backup on anything that's plugged through that unit.
Yeah.
That way, what you'll do is you'll just go ahead and make sure that your router, your modem, your computers are tied into there, because you don't want anything to suffer brownout or something.
And even
like
your one for your fridge, right?
Your refrigerator.
Yeah.
Depending on how much it can handle, though.
Yeah. Should you get 2 or no?
I would say, I mean,
can you do 2?
It's expensive, but you could get 2. I mean, hey, we have 2 internet services.
Yeah, because if you have 2 and you know that this happens a lot or more often, having one for your refrigerator would make sense, because you don't want the meats and stuff. If you eat meat, we don't have no meat in my fridge because we're not meat eaters. However, if you do have meat in your fridge or anything in your fridge that you don't want to thaw out, definitely get one or have it plugged into that. I think in our last video we talked about the things that you can utilize or how to prepare for a storm. So and
then definitely you might want it so that you can have at least a light source, a lamp tied into that also. But you can only have so many things running at the same time.
Right.
But the main thing for the backup is to cover your electronics. That's what you want to protect.
Yeah.
The refrigerator, really, you can't do it to the battery backup. It's not that powerful. It'll draw too much from it.
Okay. Gotcha.
It definitely wouldn't last long.
But with the
you're better off telling with the refrigerator.
Yeah, just the refrigerator, just keep it closed. keep your freezer closed, keep your fridge closed. It'll stay cold for at least about 48 hours. So unless you're going back and forth peeking in it, okay. So once you keep it closed and the lights go out, don't mess with it. Unless you absolutely have like baby formula and things like that in there. That's different. Of course, you have to go in it.
So then after this, and I have, I want to make sure that, so once we got that done and we were able to go through that, and now we have internet, and then of course now we have internet working, but it's our new service through Total Play.
Right.
It's our Telmex service that's been down since the 17th.
It's still down.
It's still down.
Yeah, and I just want to also let you recognize that we're giving you the tea while I'm drinking tea.
Okay. That didn't work good.
I'm sorry. I had to say it. I thought it in my head. It had to come out my mouth. Okay. I'm sorry.
I think that it was.
I crack myself up. I don't need anybody laugh at me. I laugh at myself. Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, so the internet is still down.
Yeah.
And for Telmex, our main service. So because this is what we're working on is our backup service. So my backup service is not going to have the power as my or the speeds itself and as my main service.
So are you saying that Total Play is less
yeah, so I have 500 meg download and 30 something upload on Telmex, and on this one that we're on now as our backup, I only have 150. Now the thing is, and it helps if you think about it this way. We're paying for 2 internet service providers less than what we paid for our Cox service in the United States.
Hands down.
So we have both services running, or we will eventually.
Once it gets up. Yeah.
But we have two services, internet service providers that we are paying for that was less than what we paid for in Las Vegas, Nevada. So only because this is an essential in a sense.
Oh, yeah.
It's important to have 2. Yeah. Like we're in a situation now. One's down and one's working. And this is how we're able to be at home. Yeah. Because I'm telling you, when the internet was down, everything goes down.
Yeah.
Everything goes down.
I didn't realize, my phone, because I'm on my phone often for business. Of course I work from home. We both work from home, editing and writing and all this stuff, right? And then so even to use an app, I'm trying to use an app and the app wouldn't work because even the apps are connected to the internet. I didn't know that. Yeah. So it's crazy. Like everything you go on because you're so used to going, let me just look that up real fast. No, because I don't have internet.
And then
that was
depending
frustrating.
on
That part was frustrating for me.
Right.
I'm going to say that. Yeah.
And we have AT&T Wireless from the U.S. and they piggyback off of the supposedly the Telcel websites, but it doesn't work that good out here.
No.
So it behooves you to get an internet, a Mexican cell phone, which we do. We have one now.
We have one now.
We've had it since we moved here. But it's one of those things that if you don't have a backup internet through another service provider, then I would recommend getting like a MiFi through.
So what's a MiFi?
A MiFi would be like your cellular hotspot cell service. And you can buy the unit so that you could use that to basically run your internet for you when you're mobile anywhere.
Oh, okay.
So instead of using your phone as a hotspot, you have something that could do a better job at it with getting more clients, which would be other devices to share the same hotspot signal.
Oh, okay, nice.
So,
good advice.
With that, I wanted to kind of go over, let's say, what are our takeaways? And here we go.
We should have music with takeaways.
Our takeaways. Takeaway number 1 is you should have self-control and patience.
Wait, I didn't see that.
All right, here we go again because I can't keep it up.
You don't need to see our face.
Be persistent, be graceful, and do not be disrespectful. That's when we're dealing with customer service. This is the takeaway in all of this, in all these 2 weeks of having hardships, whether it been the water down and the internet service down, or waiting for a new internet service to be installed. You won't get anywhere, especially in Mexico, having a very, very nasty,
Attitude.
what do you call it?
Attitude?
Entitled,
Oh,
strong
privilege.
attitude, privileged attitude.
Where's my internet? You better get it on now.
That ain't gonna work. Not here. You will be shut down in quickness.
Yes, anywhere you shouldn't act like that, because you know what I mean. Because you'll just not at all. Let's have a happy attitude. Going with grace, even if it takes 2 weeks before you get your internet on. Okay, still gotta have a happy attitude, going gracefully, and just know that it's gonna work out. Because if you're all frustrated and then you go home all frustrated, after talking with them or just sitting here without the internet frustrated, it's not gonna help your heart. So you need to find other things to do, like, okay, you don't have internet right now, take a walk on the beach. You don't have internet not right now, take some time to write or do something that's productive. Go volunteer somewhere, do something outside of your home, because sometimes that might just be a way for God to say, hey, you need some downtime off of the phone and off of the all the whatever that come, all the rays and stuff that come through all these electronics. So it actually can be better for you, that I found, at least, that take coming away from being online all the time.
But also, you can't come up with a solution,
right,
unless you're basically being patient and
right.
and you have self-control, because
if you're frustrated, you ain't gonna even focus.
yeah, it's going to
That's
be
true.
harder for you to even deal with it, especially if you're not fluent in the language.
Yeah.
Then you're really going to have a struggle. So it's best to really because when you're searching and trying to get help it's like, oh my gosh, that's a task in itself.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to spend a lot of time being patient to go through information in a language that you have to translate, unless you have a friend close by that can do that for you.
Well, they're not always going to be there for you.
But they're not always going to be there for you.
So
and I did have 2 times over the phone where I was able to have somebody talk in Spanish for them, somebody that was Mexican national here, 2 different people. And the problem was, because that's how I found out they had an English prompt on Total Play. But the problem was, it still didn't work out.
Right.
I went into Telmex 4 times. Didn't work out. There was English speaking that helped me there. It didn't work out. Sorry, it's hot here, guys. And she's like, oh, I'm melting. But it is hot here. So, the takeaway through all this experience, and we're still not out of it.
Yeah.
Is number 1 is going to be to be self-controlled, have self-control. So our next takeaway was that, never order internet or cell service from a third party.
Yeah. We did that with our cell phone, in the United States at Sam's, and we had a hiccup. So, yeah.
So when we were in Las Vegas in June, because we had to go back I don't know, for some of you that remember, we had to go back for a week to leave Mexico to go back to the Mexico consulate to get the paperwork to become temporary residents here in Mexico.
Yes.
So we were back. We did it in reverse than most people. Most people will get their residencies, their paperwork set up while they're in the U.S. and then come out here.
Exactly.
We were already here, and then we went back so we can get back.
Yeah.
But while we were there, right before we left, sure enough, we were in a Sam's Club. Man, Sam's Club seems to be the wrong spot.
That's what I was telling you.
But it was an AT&T rep, because my mom wanted to get her phone upgraded.
Yeah.
And
she heard that it was good over there.
And she said it was good because my daughter went over there and had good situation over there.
Yeah, that's okay.
And Rose's phone was having technical difficulties here.
Yes, it was.
So we went ahead and did everything with the AT&T rep at Sam's Club in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, before we were leaving, because we only had a few days left, the guy was supposed to give us the boxes to return our other phones, because they were still in the next plan. And we were getting these deals where if we gave up our phones, we were getting anywhere from like $600 to $800 off on our new services. And it turned out that he didn't come through.
Right.
And so while we were at the last moment trying to work on the situation and get it resolved, we were calling AT&T. We were going into AT&T stores, and they couldn't help us because the order that was placed for our new phones that we had on us were from a third-party vendor that worked out of Sam's Club.
So no third-party vendors.
If you want to avoid the headaches, it's best
Yes.
for you to,
Man,
yeah, it
it's
was,
not even kosher.
I mean, so we ended up leaving Vegas without having our phones mailed, and we had to leave them with somebody else, a family member,
Yes, to get them
to get those in so that we could get that money taken off, because it would actually happen. It ended up rolling. It would have rolled over where we were paying for, all of us were paying for two different phones
right
in this, for the next billing cycle.
Right.
So it was just chaotic.
Yeah.
But we ended up, it was just we couldn't get help. So no matter if we did it over the phone or went into a store, nobody could help us.
And like, because you went through them.
So if you're going to be in
Yeah.
Mexico, be sure you if you're going to buy your electronics, know where you buy it from. Make sure you test them before you leave.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, because my headset's not
because
working.
we're dealing with that with our
my brand new
again,
earbuds.
Brand new earbuds from Best Buy in Las Vegas, and one ear isn't working. So it's not always Mexico that has bad problems, but
right.
Here we are dealing with U.S. as well. But
wouldn't that be third party as well, since we got it from Best
Buy
instead of going to the AT&T store?
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's still because there's no Best Buy in Mexico.
I know.
So that's our complication right now. So we're dealing directly with Apple, and unfortunately, Apple does not have any real authorized dealers except for like in Mexico City and somewhere else.
Right. Yes.
So our third takeaway from this experience is that when you're signing up for an internet service account, the sales reps will use a random phone number.
You might have to say that again.
Sorry, guys.
Because somebody had to have that radio loud.
Again, being in Mexico, this is what you're going to deal with on a live.
Yeah.
But let me bring that back up again.
You got to read it. So you can't pause that, huh?
I can't pause it.
Darn it.
So while you're here, basically the sales rep will use a random phone number as your primary to be your account holder. So hopefully you guys saw that quickly.
I didn't see it.
I know.
Can you run that by
I can't
one more
blend
time?
that one more time.
Yeah, the bottom part you said something about ASAP. Set up your online or mobile app access once service is installed. Oh, okay, and correct your contact information. Oh, that's good.
So let me go over that real quick. I had to bring it back 3 or 4 times. Sorry, guys. The software I have to put that up wouldn't allow it to stay up there, except for
that was some of the technical differences.
But I will fix that next time. So again, when we signed up for Telmex and now for Total Play internet service, both service providers, when we went to when I went to Telmex to talk to them, I found out that the phone number they had was not my phone number. Where did you guys get that number? We don't have no idea where they got that number.
Still don't even know.
Still don't know. And it turns out that when I went on my app to sign up for the Total Play, it was the same thing. They had a number in the system that was not mine. I don't know if it was the text number or something.
Did you ever try to call it?
No, because it's a Mexican phone number. This is the other thing about being here in Mexico. Again, a lot of times the techs are only going to be using the cell numbers to make cell phone calls. They're not being WhatsApp calls. Oh, yeah. So it behooves you to get a Mexican cell phone number while you're here.
Yep.
But either get it as if your phone has an extra SIM slot, put that in there, or just get another cheap phone like we do. I have I brought back from Vegas. I had to get it mailed back to me, an old iPhone 6s Plus. And that's where my Telcel Mexican phone number's on.
So save your old cell if you have one.
So save your cell phone numbers.
Yeah,
or save your
old cells. Yeah, if you have one.
If you're gonna be moving to Mexico, keep your old stuff, your old cell phones, and use it to put a Mexican phone number on. But so what you have to do immediately is find out if that's the case, because you want to correct that information. ASAP. So that you can actually build an online account to check your bill, pay your bill, change your password on your modem, or your SSID, which is your Wi-Fi name when you're looking it up. You want to change that information and personalize it for you.
Yeah. Right.
So there's ways to get through the system, but you're going to find out, at least here, both times, they'll use a different number. And
Yeah.
at Telmex, when I went in to talk to them to correct it, it took two times, two visits to get it corrected. It's the way it is.
It's just so much fun.
It's not saying that again,
It's okay.
we love Mexico, but this is just the way things go.
It's just the truth.
So
we're not gonna hide it. Let's let you know this, guys. We won't hide the truth of the things that are not negative, but things that occur that's not such a positive light. You know what I mean? So we have to tell you the good and the ugly. Okay.
yeah,
So,
you gotta know, because
but we're also going to give you a solution to that.
the worst thing is if I lie to you, and
you get out here and you be like, the heck?
Did you lie to me, baby? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
All
you're
right.
not a singer.
So here we go. What's our next thing? Let me try
the third one.
We're missing a 4.
Right there. You're on number.
So I
the
did
next
that.
one, yeah.
So 4. You know what? I'm missing that. Oh, go figure.
Don't worry about it.
So my next thing I would say is, if a service offers an English chat option online, then you need to use that with precaution. Okay.
Show it again.
Here's my wife.
English option on. Take it with precaution. The rep response to the platform may not necessarily be English speaking. Okay, yeah.
So let me go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Telmex, I did not find an opportunity to communicate with them through their chat, online chat in English. But Total Play provides on their phone line an English option to talk to somebody in English, and also on their app.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that the person that gets on that line is fluent in English. It just means that you can communicate using it to them in English. And they'll probably be doing Google Translate.
Right.
Now, in my experience with Total Play, to get them to hurry up and get out here and do the install, was that I was on the chat bot and I found that English option because I was using my translator, and I discovered, oh, I can continue this in English.
Right.
Well, when I did, it was like the responses were taking like a long time. Sometimes I thought, I don't think this person's even back on the phone or on the computer. Like, where'd they go? And I was like, so I would disconnect, close my app, start it up again, get back in the English chat, go for a little bit again.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden there would be like radio silence. Then I said on the third time, I was like, you know what, forget this. I'm going to go back into English chat. And this time I'm going to translate back my words into Spanish. So I started typing what I wanted to say in English, going to Google Translate, converting it, and then translating it, copy and pasting it in the chat. And I was getting immediate responses. And that's what I did. I kept that person in English chat, which happened to be the same name that was used the other 2 times that I went through it. So I don't think I got the same person over and over again.
They're like, this is not a gringo. Let's chat.
So the problem is either A, the chat bot uses one name, which was Jose something Aguila, for anybody that gets on that other side of the chat line, or there is literally only one person, and that guy is struggling like all mad to try to help people.
Maybe it's not a lot of people actually.
Yeah, because it's an English chat line. But when I started doing it in Spanish, I was getting immediate responses, and then I was able to deal with them.
Yeah.
But again, they couldn't help me. Oh no, they could help me because this was after I finally got installed, and I was correcting my information on the Total Play account.
So with the Telmex though, you got a hold of them, right? But did they ever give us a date that they're
There's nobody there. No, what happened with Telmex now is we're still with, again, this is the internet service that's been out for 2 weeks. They changed the account number or the fix-it number I had before, that trouble ticket number. I don't know what they did with it. They gave me a different one.
You know.
So that means we might be on another week delay.
I just had a thought though. Maybe you can cancel it and then just put it in my name and say and I order service here.
We still got to go and cancel. That means we'd have to go down and still have to get a tech to come over here to get that.
And well, they'll be here to come pick it up in month,
So
2 months later.
it's just not worth it, guys.
Oh,
I know that
wow.
we already have
But we need that.
the 4 times I've been down there. They already told me that they will give me the um, the,
A credit
they'll
towards the
credit
time.
these days that we're down.
Okay, good.
So I just have to. I'm going to show them that I have 2
Yeah.
trouble ticket numbers because
Yeah.
you're not going to be sitting there trying to jip me on that first
Yeah, I
one.
know. So then they said that they'll give you the credit. However, will the credit take as long as they were taking to put the internet back on?
I don't know because the new bill just
I'll
showed
send
up.
it to you next week or next year.
Yeah,
I'm
we're not
saying,
going
like-
to do that. So, all right, here's our next takeaway that I have here. It was much easier to be without water for 4 days than to go without internet
Facts.
for 6.
Facts. Because you know what? With the water situation, right, we can still go get some water. Like, you know what I mean? You can go downstairs to OXO, get the big old jugs. We can, shower each other, shower, whatever like that. Pour the water, eat, and drink the water, and utilize that to cook, right?
Yeah, that's what we did, and especially
Right.
with rainy season.
Oh, yeah.
We were collecting water.
Yeah,
to
put a
flush
bucket
toilets.
out there and flush. Yeah, do that. You can do that, right?
We were buying 5 for you guys. It would be 5-gallon bottles.
Yeah, we need to go still pick up the
And
liters.
we were using that and our
Yeah.
other bottled waters to brush your teeth, everything else.
Did my mic go off? I felt it buzz.
No,
Is it
you're
on?
on.
Okay, is this thing on?
It's on.
So yeah, so it's easier. You're right. However, when it comes down to internet,
Oh man.
it feels like you can do nothing. Like you can do nothing. And I was like, come on, man. App. No, you're on the phone. Even my phone was acting up. I was like, no, this can't be right.
Everything
man.
was
Everything. Like, because you're so used to open up your computer and I'm sitting here typing, working on my book, and I'm like, oh no, I can't work on my book. You know why? Because I use Google Docs. And Google Docs is connected to the internet.
Everything's down.
Everything.
And including because we're cable cutters. So our entertainment, the television service.
Oh yeah.
It was all out.
Our Apple Play. And so it was fine not
so we
watching
couldn't
TV.
Netflix, no TV.
And we don't even watch TV that much. Like at night, we'll watch our 1 or 2 show that we really like together, right? And that's fine. And I'll watch old school shows on occasion, right? But man, like having no internet is connected to everything. So just imagine if they decided to shut down the internet, guys.
Life would be hard.
In my head, I was having those thoughts when we didn't have internet. Like, what if this happened for indefinite, or the government came in and went, "Cook, we're gonna cut it off." What do? You got to have survival skills. You got to have a kit put together or something because
you can't look up stuff. I mean, it was hard to again because our cell service is AT&T is not so great. No. So ordering the Ubers and DDs, that was tough when you're here. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. It literally, it's like having the power go out.
Yeah. But I'm glad that didn't happen continually. I'm glad that night it went off for a little bit, when the guys were here. But if the power was out, nah, man, nah.
But
that would be crazy.
It was way, 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 way easier to handle the water out than it was to deal with the power outage. Yeah. I mean, than the internet going out. I mean, there's no comparison whatsoever. No comparison.
So, has that ever happened to you guys? Have you had, if you live out in PV or Mexico, or even in the States, have you had an issue with water, not having water on? What did you do what was your experience, or have you had the electricity go out and you didn't know what to do or whatever? How did you overcome those things? Let us know, share that in the comments.
Yeah, share with us.
I want to know, I need some tips and tricks, guys. All right. Should I put together some type of kit so I can be, okay? I know one thing we had mentioned in our other video about when the water went out, and just in case lights go out, and I still need to go pick them up, some walkie-talkies just in case, the kind that wind up or whatever like that, so just in case you can communicate with each other. Because if your phone's not working too, and you don't have it charged fully, and like I was concerned about that night, and electric went off. If you don't have that, at least your mate or whoever can take the walkie-talkie if they need to go somewhere, and you can communicate that way.
Well, only if it's in close range, because walkie-talkies only work.
You can't go far?
No. They only work in a certain radius. But that's okay, because for here in our building, because we have a lot of seniors, it would be good to have something where we can hand it, like the Gina that walked by us. You can have it set up so that you can basically communicate with each other and
Yeah.
care for one another if you're in that style.
Right.
The other thing is if you're like renting a home or you have your house out here in Mexico, I would say just get
Yeah.
a generator. You
Oh
need to have a
yeah.
generator
Yeah, we need one.
for backup.
Right.
Here we can't have a generator because you can't run it
Yeah,
in
just
here.
stick it in a corner.
But for a house,
Yeah, get
have
a
a
generator.
backup generator.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
especially for us, we got several more months of rainy season, and the hardest is
Mm.
yet to come.
Yes, we heard that it's going to be pouring down, raining like starting in like an afternoon, I guess 2 or 3 o'clock, and then raining all that time. That's a long time of rain, you know.
Well, I
So
mean, that's what we've been dealing with, but we've had a
yeah,
few days off. But the
yeah,
rain, I guess, as hard as it has been here, it's nowhere close to what's coming up. So this is our first summer in
yeah.
Mexico, so
We love
we'll
it.
find out.
We still
You
love it.
know,
I still love it. I love it here. It's beautiful, sun shining. One thing about it, in the mornings when it's really sun shining, or even after it rains, if it's during the day, the sun still comes out so bright and beautiful, and it just feels like a big cleansing and just joy. I love that. It's not gloomy like that. You know what I mean? So
right?
I'm grateful for that for sure.
And we're just like, I don't know. It's like I just feel like there's so much that happens here that you're like, okay, what is the next thing that could happen to us? You know, um, there's, I don't know. It's just like there's little hiccups here and there, but it's not really as bad as
Right.
as hard as it could be.
Right.
So I wanted to add another takeaway in here that I want. It's important to say, and you can't see it on the screen.
Right.
Um, but I forgot to put this one up, and it's basically when you're ordering service, whether it's like the cell, cable internet, or maybe even cable and internet. Let's just say that, or even
Yeah.
utilities. Most likely, you are not going to be able to use a USA phone number.
Oh yeah. Right.
You need to get a Mexican phone number
Or Canadian either.
or a Canadian. You're
Yeah.
not going to be able to really use those. Number one, field text. They will only text to Mexican phone numbers. They're not going to WhatsApp you or whatever because that's just not going to happen.
No.
And many a times, the systems that are in play for like the utility companies and stuff do not accommodate, you know, area codes or country codes outside of Mexico. So it'll
Right.
just be they're looking for a plus 52. So when you try to enter in your phone number, whether it be in your online stuff, that number
Yeah.
you can't change it that plus 52 to +1.
That's right.
It'll just stay. So when you put in your 10-digit phone number, it's not going to work
Right.
because anytime they're going to try to reach out to you, they're doing it with a plus 52, not a
Right.
+1. So it would be best for you to be able to go ahead and just use your just get a Mexican phone number.
So tell us how would one, oh sorry, I'm just fighting with my straps over here. So tell me, how would one just get a Mexican phone number? How does that work?
Well, you can just get basically you know how you would just get a SIM card from
Okay.
one of the little Telcel um, location stores, OXO. They basically have two different providers there that they have where you can buy minutes.
Okay.
So you're just going to buy minutes for a dummy phone, or if you happen to have an extra slot in your cell phone to put in their SIM card,
Okay.
that's what you're going to do is get one from Telcel. That would be the best company to use here in Mexico. Get that phone number, pay for like a month worth of service or
Okay.
whatever, and only basically recharge that number as needed
Mm. Okay.
because you don't always have to have it
Right.
on. I mean, I'm not saying go out and buy another Mexican phone number service, Mexican cell phone service, but you can just get like you would do if you went into Walmart and got one of the Walmart
Oh
cards,
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Virgin, or you know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying?
Okay. Gotcha.
It's just something that
Yeah.
where you pay for minutes.
Right. Some people don't know that because a lot of times people say that, and I hear people say that too, and I'm like, well, how does one get a Mexican phone number? So
Yeah.
that's easy.
So it's just, yeah,
easy.
that's all you do is,
Okay.
and again, it's important, instead of buying another phone, just make sure you have a phone that you have that's used and it's unlocked,
Yeah.
and you can
Yeah.
go ahead and they'll put that new SIM card in your old phone for you.
And if you don't have a phone, ask one of your family members. Somebody got a phone sitting around somewhere. Okay, so just ask somebody, see if they have one, especially if you plan on moving out here.
Yeah.
Get it ahead of time.
And I would say, even if you come out here visiting, it would
true.
help you to basically, in order to make sure you do have some kind of cell service wherever you go,
Oh yeah. That's true.
to just bring an old phone that's not being used,
Yeah.
get a cheap SIM card, because again, the service I paid for like a month, and you get 3 gigs of internet service, because it was like a package. I think it's like 100 and something pesos. So it's like $10.
Yeah, I remember it being like around $10.
It's only $10 for
That's
like
good.
almost 30 days worth of service.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not.
That's
might
not
as well
bad.
just do it.
Because how much would you pay service on AT&T or something for a month?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's way more.
Yeah, you're not paying a deposit and all this
No.
other stuff first and last month.
Plus your bill. Yeah, that's good deal. Good news.
So and that
right.
way it's not tied to any address.
Yeah.
You don't have to fill out a bunch of paperwork. You just get it.
Just get it.
Get it and get out.
So you have any more pointers, or is that it for today?
No, I think that's it for today, guys. But this is our. It's not so much a rant, but it's just a focus on what we've had to go through as far as dealing with customer service in Mexico. Mm-hmm. It can be extremely challenging, but again, the challenges do not do not overtake the rewards of living in Mexico.
Not a chance. No, we love it here. And also, guys, coming on, it's not like Jimmy said, it's not a rant. It's our cozy couch chat. That's why we call it this. So that if you have anything to say, if you want to contribute to the conversation, jump in and say something. We'll see your comments. I don't know if you have clicked on that, but we'll see your comments. And if you have anything that you want to talk about or share with the group, or with the community, then, go on in and type and see what you got to say. So that's why we have our cozy couch chat on Sunday. So that's what it's all about. Community, guys. Community.
So with that,
go up there. See if
there's nothing. It would tell me.
Gotcha.
It would tell me.
All right.
So with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off.
We're going to sign off. Yes.
So we just want to say thank you for watching.
Yes.
And we appreciate you guys. We love you. Again, reach out to us in the comments.
Yeah.
Leave a comment even in the replays.
Yes, if you're yes.
Let us know that you're watching, and also be sure to subscribe.
Yes.
Like and subscribe.
Like.
And if you have any other things that you would like us to go over or kind of bring into the conversations, then share that with us, please.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yes, guys.
So,
thank you for watching, everyone.
Thank you for watching.
We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone who subscribes. To our new subscribers as well. Thank you. I saw that this week. And blessings to everyone. Blessings, and have an amazing rest of your Sunday wherever you are.
Ciao.
Ciao.
We are heading out. We again appreciate you. Love you.
Love you.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. Adios.